Welcome back for the rest of the build. It is officially a 2 coffee build now after that sensational stuff up. In this video, we finish off our heat set insert press build and improve it with an awesome Gridfinity-style draw. What I can say is, through that, this is about to be improved even further as part of this video. So I'll explain what I did wrong, we'll fix that, and then the little surprise I have in the end that just elevates this to an even better tool. So first off, this was the backing I printed, which is meant to hold the retractable device. This is the one I should have printed that wasn't part of the printables listing. It's on a separate listing. So I'm going to list this in a link in the description. Short version, if you have, it's a funny shaped one of these, it's sort of triangular, rounded, however I can explain it. This is the correct fitting, the one in the instructions. If you have the square retractable device as part of your kit, this is the correct device that it fits into. It's going to make a liar out of me, like that. So this is the correct fitting system. Having said that, we'll now unscrew this. I need to put 2 heat insets there, and then we'll screw this together, mount it on there. That part of the build is done. We'll attach this, and from there, we are going to enhance the base of this. I'm going to bounce the camera back on the overhead so we can look down as well. M3, these seem to be the most popular ones I've been using. Just plug that on, 270-degree work temp. There we have it. Insets are in. Okay, so let's fix the back of this thing, put the new part on, get it finished, and then we'll move on to the next mod. We're meant to put this on before this, so we're full of mistakes. Missed that in the build too. So depending on the kit you buy, mine doesn't have this keyring on it, so ignore the keyring. It just has this loop with this metal on there. And there's a few things you can buy that crimp onto things. Other people have lark's headed this onto, where is it? Onto the neck of this. When I say lark's head, you essentially put this through here like that. They create a loop, and they've done a messy sort of like that. So I'm going to find a proper clamping mechanism. Now, if you've bought some of the other kits, the end of this has a round, like it's got a handle and a little round ball, and that ball seats into the bottom there. I don't have that. Other people have just left this loop hanging out the bottom like that, which is another option. I've just put a larger keyring on it until I find a smaller one, and that's what'll live on the end. I'll pull this in so it looks a bit neater, but I'm just leaving a keyring on the end. Do have to change the alignment a little bit. It seems to be pointing back a bit. You can see the cable has centered itself on the flange bearings. That is the stealth press. Really cool. As you can see, it works perfectly up and down. Just make sure that's nice and tight as it has loosened. And the idea behind this is now you can get your inserts in controlled and straight each and every time. Now, we have a slight upgrade to this. I like the Gridfinity idea behind things. That is partially why my multi-board has Gridfinity on it, because I just find it super useful. And this was an enhancement for this. So let's pull it off the printers and I will show you exactly what it is. So when you've left ABS cold for a while, it slides off, but I find the brims a lot harder to get off. So let's clean this up quickly. It is a tray. I always go both ways because you can never start perfectly from the corner. So I've just found you get a better finish just running the knife or the deburring tool both ways. Okay, you get little white bits on the end because you've pulled off filament. And these little white bits, just use a blowtorch and just hit the white bits. Just get the flame of it just to touch. Sometimes you don't even have to get to touch depending how hot your torch is, but no more white edges from the deburring tool. So I'll show you what this is. It's really cool. Here's a base, and this slides in. Then you have a drawer, and there is a Gridfinity insert, and then you have these little trays. So I have room for a few more across the back. You've also got here, which would store either the entire soldering iron or your tips. You can also get models that hold these in there. And then as you're using the tool, you can have them here. So instead of the other one, have the drawer open and pull them out one by one. It's there. I think that's really cool. It also means if you want to take them elsewhere away from this, if you're using something else or doing it by hand, you have that option. Now, the only flaw here with me finding this afterwards is, as you saw, this moves. So the modified version of this has a hole here and on the other side for 2 insets, and then you can screw in through this hole. Now, I don't have that because I printed this first and then found this drawer, which means I need to reprint this bottom. I don't want to do that for 2 bits, so I'm going to actually be rough. I'm going to get a drill. I'm going to drill in here and on the other side, and I'm going to put 2 insets in. And then that will hold against the drawer. And then that'll be it, all done. So I know it seems a little hacky that way, but I just don't want to reprint the bottom bracket. For those that are interested in doing the drawer as part of the kit off the bat, I'll include that in the link below as well. So this has definitely been a build of discovery. I don't pre-plan or pre-do these. This is literally me going, this is what I need. A couple of little revisions, and for me, if it wasn't on camera, I wouldn't have reprinted that bottom base. I would have just drilled it and put a couple of insets in. So because I would have done that off camera, that's what I'm doing on camera. By poking in the very middle of the hole, we'll have a mark for the drill bit. There's 1, 2. Nice thing is this drawer adds weight to the base, so it makes it a little bit more stable too. So you can see here we've got 2 marks. That's where we're going to drill. That can sit. I'm just using what's effectively my tripod over there to keep this up. A spot on 5. So feel that's going to be a bit big. We'll go a mil under, we'll go 4. And that, when it's spinning around, is enough for me to see when I've hit the depth. Drill slow and then speed up. Last thing you want is this thing to bite in really hard and just go to town. See how quick it goes when it bites? You get past that initial bit and then it just decides. That's it. Do the other side. Done. It's always better to have the holes a little bit too small than too big. If they're too small, that's fine. The plastic will melt back around. If they're too big, these will pull out. So if you're measuring it and you're unsure, go a full millimeter below. Now our drawer goes back on. There we go. Now we just need some screws. Now they were M3x8s, but I think I've actually got some shorter ones because we certainly don't need to go 8mm into that. M3x6. Where is one? Look, I could have lined it up a little bit better. Oh, that's okay. It will survive. And there you have it. Oh. Finito. We'll just get this, which is one of the old bits. I'll drill a couple of holes in. We'll make sure it works. Okay. This. I think we go here. All right, my cable's not thick enough to really honk in there, but that's all right. No, it doesn't look any different, but my God, is that easier. And the reason being is the soldering iron is gripping the inset, and then you can slide this under it to center it exactly where you want and then push down. Let me bring you closer. So you literally just move it to where you want it and then apply some pressure and just wait. And you're not pushing on the soldering iron, you're pushing on the arm. Done. Perfection. So when I say you're pushing on it, this platform is perfect. You're just doing 2 fingers and then it retracts itself. I'm really happy with that. Sure, it could have been built better with a little bit more thorough research, but I really enjoyed the build, even the little bits. And if I hadn't have discovered that I printed this incorrectly, then I wouldn't have discovered the drawer. So it's serendipitous that that happened, or is it fortuitous? One of those really big words that make it sound really smart that I don't use correctly. That was officially probably more than a 2 coffee build, but I only had 2 coffees, so I think I'll start putting in the thumbnails of the build videos little coffee mugs. We can use that as a measurement of how long it took to build, just for other projects that are coming up. There will be links in the description to all the little changes I had to print. There will be links in the description to the soldering iron, to the kit I used, everything. There will be links as well to this free version of the drawer that you can print yourself to enhance your stealth press. I'll put a link to these in the description. If I can find the ones I prefer, I'll link those. If I'm only linking these either way, I'll put in brackets, not the ones I like. Yes, they work, but I definitely like the other design more, and I like the look of the flanged ones. They look really nice when they're finished. But as you can see, even by hand, we got this done. So lamest giveaway on YouTube for the week. If you're in Australia and you want these for your traditional soldering iron, they won't work on a pencil soldering iron. They will work on a traditional soldering iron. Then first comment in the description, if you're in Australia that you want these, I'll put them in an envelope and I'll send them to you. Lamest giveaway on YouTube. What can I say? I'm a tiny channel. So there we go. Hope you enjoyed that. I enjoyed that. I really wanted to do a product build with this as part of the video, but the video, 1, has gone long enough, and 2, when I looked at the bit I printed, it doesn't have the bits for the heat inset. So that'll be a future video with this. But as you saw, we did test it on this. Brilliant. If you do have products where you have to do a lot of heat insets, it's way faster, way more accurate than doing it by hand. But as I've shown, if you're only doing 1 or 2 items you've got to build, then you don't need one of these. But if you're in a position where you're going to be building lots of items, this is really handy. Or if you just want another cool tool in the workshop, again, this is really handy. So thank you for watching this. Thank you for hanging out. See you in the next one.